And now that we've set our clocks back by an hour, the sun will be out a lot earlier. You saw it this morning, at least until March. So less sunlight, shorter days can trigger seasonal affective disorder, which affects an estimated 10 million people. Most of them are women.
Seasonal affective disorder is a form of depression, which can be linked to chemical changes in the brain. Dr. Kimberly Kleinman is a senior psychologist at New York Presbyterian, and she's here this morning to explain the difference between seasonal affective disorder and what's commonly referred to as the winter blues. So Dr. Kleinman, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Well, some people feel like they got that extra hour of sleep, but some people will be adjusting to this to the daylight saving time. So how long does that actually take to fully adjust to this new
Sure. For most people, it takes about 5 to 7 days to fully adjust, to get used to that change. So if you're feeling it today, you're almost there. Hang in there. More to go.
Right. Yeah, especially the kiddos. The ones who take the longest, I think, to adjust.
Yeah.
So what's that seasonal, we just talked about, right? What's that seasonal affective disorder different from the winter blues?
So seasonal affective disorder is an actual diagnosis of depression. So it's a major depressive disorder with a seasonal pattern, meaning that folks who experience seasonal affective disorder also have some impairment in their daily life. So it's not just feeling sad or down and for a few days and then getting over it. It really is going to last for a long time, over 2 weeks, and it's going to impact work or relationships. Some symptoms of depression would be feeling low mood, changes in appetite, changes in sleep, feeling like things you used to enjoy you no longer enjoy anymore. And then winter blues is more of that feeling down, feeling sad, but again, it's not impacting your daily life as much.
So seasonal affective disorder can affect adults and kids?
Yes, so it is more common in adults. About 5% of Americans do have a clinical diagnosis of seasonal affective disorder. In children, it's closer to 3 to 4%, although there's a lot of research that still needs to be done to better understand it.
So how does one know, right? How do you, is it because you feel a shift change in your mind because it's getting dark earlier? How do you know that something's wrong?
So most people, we know ourselves, right? Pay attention to what you're feeling. Know that it is true what you have. There's a seasonal pattern to it, so it'll start in the fall and winter months and usually get better by the spring. So folks with depression, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily happen that way. So if you see year after year that come the fall time, you're feeling more down, you're more tired, you have a higher appetite, things like that, and then by the spring, come March, you're feeling better, that might be an idea that you have seasonal affective disorder.
Why is it that women suffer from it more than men?
It's a great question. There's not a ton of research that gives great answers why, so that's still something that they're looking into. But I wonder that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But you're talking about serotonin, melatonin, vitamin D, all playing a factor here.
Right, so with the shorter days and less sunlight, it is going to impact our serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that regulates mood, and so it's going to have decreased serotonin, which is going to impact how we feel, and then melatonin is the chemical that helps us feel sleepy at the end of the day, and we'll have actually increased melatonin, which again will make us more sleepy throughout the day. Vitamin D is not actually shown to be associated with seasonal affective disorder, although most Americans do have, or most people living in the United States do have low vitamin D deficiencies, so it could be related.
So how do we treat this? And especially when if you're trying to figure out if it might be your child. So how do you deal with that? What are the treatments?
So if you're trying to figure it out, again, pay attention to what's happening. But the treatments would be similar to that for any depression. So psychotherapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're working on that connection between your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, is a wonderful treatment for depression, along with medication, if that's what feels right for you and your family, and recommended by your doctor. In addition to that, because of the impact of the sun and the light, there are specific treatments like the light box, which you can get online. They're relatively inexpensive. They're about 1 foot by 1.5 feet. You'll sit in front of it for about 30 minutes, ideally in the morning, and try to get that light that you're missing from the shorter days in the sun.
Okay, so for your kid, if you're a parent, how do you understand if that's what they're going through and not any of the pressures of life and school and social media?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really hard, right? And it's towards the beginning of the school year where there is an increase in stress and feelings for kids. I would say pay attention year after year, right? If you're noticing that it is happening, then it might be seasonal affective disorder. Regardless, though, don't hesitate to reach out. You can go to the pediatrician, you can go to a mental health provider, behavioral health team at New York Presbyterian. We can help you understand if this is just normal kids' stress in the world today, social media, or if it is more of a clinical diagnosis.
There are actually tests that you can test for this?
So the way that depression is diagnosed would be through a screener, so some brief questions, all the way up to a clinical interview. So we would meet, really understand very carefully what are the symptoms, what are you experiencing, how severe is it, right? Is it mild, is it severe, and how long is it lasting?
All right, Dr. Kleiman, I appreciate you being here to talk about this.
Thank you so much.
We still just need sleep.
We just need sleep. Yeah, we just need sleep. Oh.